Hi everyone, hi subscribers, it's Sloan Rhodes here with your Spiritual Self-Mastery class, Ego and Heart, for the week of December 16th, 2018. So, a couple of announcements. As you may already know, I have 15% off all of my video readings and gift certificates for video readings until the end of the year, until January 1st or December 31st or something. The code is Holiday 2018, and there's a link here as well as below. And then off all of my online courses, I am offering 40% off as a holiday sale. The code is Holiday 2018 until the end of the year as well. So I'm adding that one. So if you have been wanting to purchase an online course, there's a pretty good deal. All right, so today I'm going to be drawing from the Vintage Oracle deck by Victoria Mosley, as we look at one card for the week, looking at how the ego may try to distract us and where we can explore more of the heart-centered energies, and then one card in the position of what we can expect or look forward to regardless throughout the week. Okay, here we go. Patience and new beginnings. Very, very nice. Well, the ego is by its nature impatient, so that's really funny. So right away we can see that the ego would come in and be like, things have got to get moving. It's taking too long. It's always taking too long with the ego. It's taking too long with the ego, and it's never enough with the ego. Right? So this is how the ego may try to distract us this week from the present moment. When we are, when the ego comes in and takes us by the hand and begins to lead us, as I've mentioned before, down that dark, distressing tunnel of not enough, should be more, things aren't right, you know, whatever it may be, it's very anxiety-provoking. And so one of the things that you can do is you can take a breath, right? You feel yourself go into that spiral of, it's not happening fast enough. Things should have already happened. I'm getting old, right? The opportunity is I'm gonna miss the opportunity. I've been in line forever at this store, and this salesperson is stupid, and I need to get moving. Don't they know I have a life? And, you know, anytime you feel yourself getting like that, and it can be very common, especially during the holidays. Everyone, you know, has an extra layer of stress because there's so much expectation, and childhood woundings come up, and we're dealing with family in ways that we probably aren't throughout the rest of the year. And so there's a lot that can occur. And one of the quickest ways that the ego can distract us is through anger. Before we know it, we're angry and we are impatient, and somebody is not doing things right, or they're not doing things fast enough. And so the ego can distract us from the moment, right? So you can be in line, and the ego comes and says, gosh, dang it, this person's so lame. They're not taking, you know, they obviously don't know their job, and these people, this person in front of me has, you know, 20 things, and I only have one, and you know, whatever it may be. You just take a breath. You drop into your heart and you say, oh, look at this. I'm engaging in the play of life. I am engaging with humanity, you know, and you recognize where you have also been not enough, right? You haven't been fast enough. You haven't necessarily noticed that other people around you could maybe go ahead of you when you've had more things, you know, or you chose not to because you just really wanted to get your turn in, kind of thing. And you begin to recognize the humanity of it all, as opposed to always noticing the lack and the fact that things aren't happening fast enough. That is one example. The other example, of course, is that you begin to beat yourself up. You know, that you should be further along. Things are taking too long in your life. You're missing opportunities. I'm this age and I haven't achieved this level of success yet, whether it be in your professional life or your personal life or your physical life. You know, it's things just aren't happening fast enough. You know, and so you're being asked here to drop into the heart more and say, okay, just take a breath. Things are happening exactly as they're meant to, in the exact time frame they're meant to, in order for me to have better understanding, for me to integrate this understanding in a way that I can utilize more readily. And where am I trying to get to? What will occur if these things happen faster? You're just going to rush to the next place without the consciousness of the present moment. So this is why it's really great to drop into the present moment, to drop into the heart and say, I'm exactly where I'm meant to be, and this is occurring exactly as it's meant to be. I'm in my car, and I've been in this traffic jam for an hour. How is this for me? Well, perhaps I am learning to just enjoy the present moment, to enjoy this moment of just being in the car. Noticing what's around me, all the lights, what the seat feels like, what the steering wheel feels like, or if someone else is driving, appreciation for them going behind the wheel and taking on the responsibility of driving, and there's a million different ways. It kind of gets back to, in some ways, gratitude. You can consider it as being from an open-hearted place of gratitude or graciousness or grace, right? The ego says, no, things need to be faster. I need to get there faster. Well, why? So you can be miserable when you get there? No, be happy now. The mind, the ego will say that only the seeming big moments are what are important. But in the universal oneness, there are no bigs and smalls. Every moment is a moment. It's just the ego will amplify certain moments as being more important. The relationships count, but the seconds don't. The months count, but not the minutes. This kind of thing. So, very interesting energy in terms of where we can play with the ego and the heart, and the more that you can, of course it's important to, as soon as you can, get out of that egoic trend, let's say, of being in your mind, being stuck in things aren't the way they're supposed to do, they should have already happened by now, or I should be further along, or this person should have done this. The more that you can notice it in the moment as it's happening, as if there's a gap, that's really beginning to master some of it, But if you can't get there yet, once you get out of it and you're in a more peaceful place, reflect on it. Notice it. Wow, I really got caught up in my ego in the car. I was honking. I was dashing in and out of places. By the time I got to where I needed to be, I was a mess. I was mad. I was angry. And I didn't enjoy where I was, Or then I thought, oh, I'm finally here. Now I can knock back a few drinks to relax. And then you go unconscious again. And the whole thing starts all over. So, you just play with it, And there's an old saying, maybe it's a Buddhist saying, that, what is the gift of patience? Well, the gift of patience is patience. The connection to the present moment as being the moment. Something to think about. Sometimes it's not always easy, of course, but what we can expect or look forward to regardless is the New Beginnings card. This goes beautifully with last week's renewal card. Something new arising here. But one of the ways that you can manifest this new beginning differently is with your conscious awareness of the present moment. Be patient. New things are occurring. They may not be fast enough for the ego, but remember, it will never be fast enough for the ego. It will never be good enough for the ego. So, you can manifest this new beginning differently by being present, by being conscious. So that when you do manifest, you're manifesting from a place of just more peace, so that you tend to manifest more of the peace as opposed to more of the anger and the resentment and the impatience and the, all of that. You're manifesting, whenever you manifest from the energy that you're in that moment. So the more that you can feel peaceful about what's occurring, be patient, allow things to unfold exactly as they're meant to, then the new beginning starts from a place that feels more peaceful and tends to prolong that sense of peace, happiness, joy, whatever it may be. So something to think about. I'll show you the cards again. So we have patience. What we can expect or look forward to regardless throughout the week is the New Beginnings card. I did mention last week that when I mentioned the renewal card from last week, it reminded me that I am playing with the idea of doing a weekly video in conjunction with this video where I just address questions people have around the ego, the heart, spirituality, spiritual awareness, metaphysics even possibly. I'll have to see what people ask. You can either email me at the link below, or you can leave a message here on the YouTube channel. And I'll probably begin that in the month of January. And I'll start looking and going through the questions and seeing which ones feel like most people are asking. And then if you guys find that helpful, if I get enough questions, I will start to address those. And it won't be predictive. I won't be using tarot or oracle. I'll just be answering the questions that are submitted. And hopefully that will provide some clarity. If I can provide clarity with my answer, I will. So anyway, I wish you all much love, happy holidays, and I will see you next week.